Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to Moscow. Now I thought I'd come and check out a Chinese machinery fair, and I'm actually already in the exhibition center. Let's go have a walk around. Coming to a machinery expo, I was hoping to see more robots and more automated machines. Now this particular one here makes calico bags, or bags for storage, for transporting goods, and it's a pretty cool machine how it works. You can see these nylon spools right here going into this very strange looking knitting machine, and then it basically comes out the top and then ends up on the other side over here as flat packed or rolled up Hessian or calico bags. So have you ever wondered how your onion bags get made, or potato sacks, or flour bags? This is the machine right here. Now if you're new to the channel, I do like to come to these expos and fairs that are here in Moscow and come and learn something about technology and what's new, and even how things are made. So if I've got something wrong, please let me know in the comments if I've explained something incorrectly. Hopefully I don't, but these fairs are very, very fascinating. And to see, you know, all of these different companies here in Russia plying their trade, it just fascinates me. If you've ever wondered how your paper cups are made, or your throwaway cups, can we call them recycled cups nowadays? This machine right here is the one that makes them. Now, it's not working at the moment. It's taking a little bit of a break for lunch. But this thing essentially turns these pieces of flat paper right here into cups, or different types of cups anyway. And at the other end of this chute right here, you can see it running across the top. The cups come out the other end just like this, and they essentially package them up, and they can even hand them off to somebody. But if you ever wondered how your paper cups are made, and if you actually have a look on the back wall right here, they've even got some different machines, and they've got the buckets for things like KFC or takeaway foods. And it's kind of interesting here, they've actually got the Rostix one, which is the new brand that was KFC in Russia. So there must be competing companies directly opposite each other here, because there's another company that's showing the paper cups. And I was just talking to the lady there about them. Non-plastic coating machine, and she talked about how there's a big trend now around the world to have recycled cups, or recyclable cups, and there's a lot of different brands right here on the shelf just showing the different ways and different sizes of things that they can produce. This particular fair isn't very well attended in terms of the different exhibitions they host here in Moscow. This one is quite specific about a lot of the machines that produce products, or the manufacturing machines that produce the products. So it's a very, very niche event. It's very interesting though, some of the things that they're showing and promoting as you walk around. You know, the thing is, in our head, you know, so much of what we use in our daily life comes from China, right? But then we forget about how it gets to us, you know, and who is making it, or who is producing it, and the machines that make the products. And there is aisle upon aisle of different booths as I'm walking around, showing the different, you know, parts for machinery, or different, you know, objects that you can basically acquire. These are different types of bearings, and you can basically find, thank you so much. Oh, how many people have had these in their childhood? How cool is that? But it's super interesting just to see the different booths that they've got on show here. I mean, I wouldn't possibly think about these very specific parts that are available, or, you know, to find, not necessarily just finding and buying parts for something, but to find the actual manufacturer of the parts is what's really even more head spinning for me. Coming to this machinery fair, this is what I was expecting to see, was these kind of machines, especially things for construction and building, and they've just got some of the very small machines right here. These are a bit more of the personal size ones, and there is some pictures of the bigger ones. This is what I expected a machinery fair, is to see machinery, and there's a very small version here of a backhoe, and there's only a few of these on display, but still pretty cool to see them up close. There are so many different booths as you walk around, and a lot of these are exporters from China who are plying their trade. And this lady's just got chains, and it looks like different sort of ratchet straps and different things for securing cargo on the backs of trucks. But who would have thought that there's just a booth here just for chains? Now, you know, would never even think about that, would you? A lot of the different booths don't have the machines here that are showing what they make and produce, but I've come across one here that's got Ziploc bags. Now, we'd all just walk into a shop and buy them, right? We wouldn't think about where they come from, or the different types of them, or the different fasteners on them. And these ladies here are selling the machines that make Ziploc bags. Now, I'm fairly sure the word Ziploc might be a copyrighted word, if I'm not mistaken. So they're using different wording. But the machines that they've got here, self-sealing bag machine, handheld zipper bag machine. Very, very interesting. As I'm walking around more, I'm just learning so much by the minute. And these different machinery companies, of course, like I've said there, they can't bring these machines here from China, but they can bring a lot of their parts that they're producing. So they're actually making or selling the machines that make the parts that they're showing and displaying here. And this one actually has hinges, and these are the parts that go on boats for the ropes. And there's even different types of keychains, these metal classic keychains at the back here. And then they even have switches and valves, and the machines that they produce make and sell these products. So as I was walking around, I came across this wheelbarrow, and there's one just here, and there's another one on this other side over here, and it's in the orange color, which is very well known in America, Home Depot. And they were telling me here that this particular company here in China produces the machines that produce the parts for wheelbarrows, and the different components for the middles of the wheels, where the rims are right here, is what these different machines produce. So the bearings you see right here, and then the centers of the wheels. Now, I'm not using the right words, I'm sure, but it's very interesting. These particular counter here, the gentleman here recognized me from the YouTube channel. So it was kind of neat to stop and have a chat and talk about the machines. And he's actually a translator here for this particular lady's company that's selling the machines that produce the parts for wheelbarrows. As I'm walking around a little bit more, I'm learning things everywhere that I stop. And another company I've come across here manufactures the machines that make the tools. Like you see here, some of these different drill presses and bench presses. And they also produce the hand tools right here. Now, these particular ones here are copper tools, and they're designed for oil and gas industry. And then the one over here has got the rubber coating on it, which is designed for electricians. So it's very interesting, the different versions of tools. I always thought they were all just made out of steel, but of course not. And then these are the different manufacturing machines that produce those tools. As I'm walking around, I've made my way to the middle section of the fair right here. And this is a really cool building. Now, it might not be the best to see through the glass right here, but you can see the skyscrapers that make up Moscow city just behind the frame of this big domed roof that they built. And they've got this pretty cool water feature right here as well. And then all of the different stands that wrap around the whole building right here. Now, there's a little bit more than just machinery here. There's also a commodities fair going on. So I thought I'd walk around a little bit and check out some of the different Chinese companies that are here selling their goods. And then possibly we'll see some more manufacturers as well. There's a lot to see in this place. And there's a lot of very specific companies as well. So let's see what I can find. It's really very interesting when you kind of look a little bit closer at some of the different booths. Because of course they're predominantly Chinese companies. And then they've got different home appliances here. These are the different steam mops. So you might recognize the products. And until you kind of look up close at them, you know, they're generic brand names, but a lot of these different companies can produce them under license, or they can co-pack them, as it's called, where they can produce the items under your own brand name if you like. And you'll see here all the different home and kitchen appliances. You know, just something that's as basic as a mixing stick right here. Perhaps I'm in the wrong business. Maybe I need to be in the small appliance business and find one of these companies and then perhaps be the sole importer to Russia of them. And then I can get my own Traveling with Russell brand. They've got here all the different hair products and curlers. And that's all they're dealing with is just personal care items. And these are the manufacturers of these products. So what do you think? Do you think I could come up with some kind of a merchandise that I can sell? I'm not too sure with my bald head if hair items are going to be a big seller. There's actually a company here that are producing and manufacturing umbrellas. How cool is that? Well, you know, I just go to a shop and buy one and I wouldn't think twice about it. You know, where they're from or where they're made and all the different types. Check out all the different styles on the back shelf there. There's even a little bit of Christmas fair sneaking in. And I think this year is the year of the dragon, if I'm not mistaken. So that's perhaps why there's lots of different dragons right here on the counter. And there's some other Christmas objects on the back shelves right there. And these are all direct imports, so perhaps I can be the only one in Russia to have these. Walking around these different stands right where I am here, it's just so interesting to see all of the Chinese companies and the different items that they've brought to Russia to try to find a market for, or to try to find distribution here in Russia. So it's, you know, maybe they're not looking for me just to be the sole importer of umbrellas or, you know, a food processor, but perhaps they want to sell them into supermarkets or into bigger department stores. So not too sure if my Traveling with Russell brand will be big enough for them. this is probably the last thing that I'm going to put my name on, is the weighing scales. They're almost Ruzjian is the name of the company right there, but what do you think? Maybe weighing scales? Not too sure it would work for me. But these particular companies that we're seeing right here are all of the Chinese companies that produce and then export them, and they're looking for markets here in Russia. And of course, you've got to keep in mind the population of Russia. I mean, you're looking at more than 100 million, even only here in Moscow, 15 to 20 million people. So there's a lot of opportunity. You know, if you can get, you know, the right product in the right stores and, you know, find that market. Walking around a little bit further, I was a little bit curious because I saw a stand here with barbecues, and this one here looks very similar to Weber. Now, of course, this is a Chinese company, but their brand name is called Green Zebra. I wonder how many zebras they have in Russia. But they've got different types of barbecues. And this is the company that manufacture and then import them to Russia or export them from China. I know, I was really curious. They've got a little small desktop one right here, and these are very popular in Russia. And there's another version over here with the lid. And the lady was telling me how cheap I can get one of these if I want to start my own barbecue business in Russia. So, what do you think, everybody? I'm sure everybody loves barbecues in Russia. Let me know in the comments. So I really did originally come to this event to see machinery, and this whole side of the event on this side, well, particularly on this left-hand side as we're walking forward now, is all Chinese manufacturers or producers of goods. And if you want to basically be a Russian importer of plastic gloves, you'd come and see this guy right here, and you can start your own plastic glove business. There's weighing scales. There is literally a stand with anything and everything. All of the different types of disposable cutlery, these little ice cream cups, and all of the different takeaway boxes back here as well. And everybody that you see at these tables are the Chinese manufacturers or the distributors of the companies. This is pretty cool. These are the things for baking. You can also make some ice creams as well. And it's just row after row of small booths that make up this whole event. And you know, there is a few people here. It's not very, very well patronized in terms of other events that I've been to. So it's quite specific, the products that they're selling and producing and what they're trying to on-sell. Who would have thought there's a manufacturer of mannequins? Now, in terms of when you go shopping, you know, you'd go to a store to buy things like the cups. But right here you're seeing the manufacturer of these cups that's selling every style you want under the sun. And then you can then be the importer of them to the country. You might even be the sole importer of them. There's some bikes as well. That's pretty neat. And I saw this when I first walked in. There's a company here that's just got plush toys. So maybe you want to be the Russian reseller of plush toys. And it's really fascinating walking around and seeing all the different stands. I wonder if this is electric, this bike. Have a look at the gear system in the back here for a small kid's bike. That's quite technical. I was thinking it's electric. And check, oh wow, he has gone off like a rocket. Check out that, the electric bike. Wow, That's pretty cool.
Battery, controller, motor.
Wow. Everything right in a bike right there. So as I was looking at these different bikes and this electric bikes, I mentioned that in Australia, especially for the young kids, the Strider is the most popular bike for the kids. And they've got an electric conversion kit for the Strider. And it comes packaged up like this, where you replace the back wheel and then there's the controls right here. But these are so hugely popular in Australia. I'm not too sure about in Russia, but it's just I was mentioning the Strider to the people at this booth here, and you can actually see the kit right here, the battery. How cool is that? Now I'm going to walk around a little bit more. I think we've covered most of the different aisles. Walking around, there's a distributor here for paper bags or gift bags, and of course we're coming towards the holidays now, so all of the Christmas items are right here. And you don't see too many people as I'm walking around. Again, this is a very niche event that they've got. There's a person here with tents, and their actual office is inside the tent. Shandong Real Outdoor Gear, and imagine they're a manufacturer of tents. 20 years of experience producing tents. So yeah, it's very fascinating. All the different stands. Oh, flickering lights. We want to get away from flickering lights. Perhaps I found my merchandise. Maybe I can produce toothbrushes and have a look at all these different types of toothbrushes they have, especially for the kids and the babies. And this is a producer of toothbrushes, and the best I can understand. And they've got all sorts of different types. What do you think? Do you think I should be in the toothbrush business? Somebody let me know in the comments. Ling Blow electric appliances. And this stand has fridges, and very bright red ones as well. I think red is very good luck in China, if I'm not mistaken. These are all generic fridges, so they're made and produced for you to put your own brand on them. So maybe I can come up with an Australian traveling with Russell branded fridge. You know, I think when I think about all the different types of merch that I could come up with, I think I found a few ideas as I've been walking around here. Now, all I gotta do now is find my way out of the place. Okay everybody, we've come to the end of the video. I'm actually walking back towards the coat check, or the coat pickup. I wore my nice big winter jacket today because it was a little bit cool outside. And I've got to go back into entrance 8 from entrance 2, I think I was at back there. I really hope you've enjoyed the video and the walk around of this Chinese machinery fair and Russian/Chinese commodities fair, pretty much dominated by Chinese companies. As we can see, lots of people walking out behind me here now. And hopefully my jacket pickup is just over there on the right hand side. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. Post in the comments. I know sometimes some of these expo videos are not as popular as supermarket videos. I enjoy coming to them. I meet lots of interesting people. Today I met a guy from America that had the BMX bikes. I met, of course, plenty of Chinese people that have the different distribution of different products, so very interesting. Yeah, write me a comment, let me know what you think. If you want to watch another video, there's going to be one coming up right now, up here on the side of the channel. Perhaps an older video that you've not seen before. If you want to follow me on Telegram, I've got my own Telegram channel. You can click the link to that right there. And I'm going to grab my jacket, and I'm off on another adventure. Bye, everybody.